My name is Declan Ebeling, and I'm a senior at Stuart Hall High School in San Francisco, California. Stuart Hall is part of a larger network of schools known as the Schools of the Sacred Heart. The history of the Sacred Heart schools can be traced back to France in the 1800s, when a woman by the name of Madeleine Sophie Barat founded the Society of the Sacred Heart. The society was brought to the United States by Rose Philippine Duchesne in 1888. Stuart Hall is named after Janet Erskine Stuart, the 5th Superior General of the Society. Stuart Hall was the first all-boys high school founded in the Sacred Heart tradition. The 5 goals of a Sacred Heart education are guidelines that are designed to impel members of the Sacred Heart community to act faithfully, respectfully, thoughtfully, wisely, and with the community in mind. Goal 1, which states that schools of the Sacred Heart commit themselves to educate to a personal and active faith in God, would not have been a goal that I would have been attracted to my freshman year, but one which I have come to accept and understand over my 4 years. Even though my faith may not have grown much, I am better positioned to experience the sacred in my life, to experience a personal and active faith in God. During my senior year at Stuart Hall, I had the opportunity to take a service trip to New Orleans, Louisiana. During my trip, I had the pleasure of meeting an elderly woman by the name of Miss Green. While planting a garden in this woman's backyard, I was overcome by her unbelievably warm, hopeful, kind, and beaming attitude. Miss Green was a very faithful person, thanking God for the service we were providing and referring to me and my counterparts as a blessing. I have never considered myself to be a devout person. However, I do view myself to be someone who is always trying to discover and perpetuate happiness. Miss Green spread joy effortlessly. On a material level, Miss Green's life was not perfect, but on a spiritual level, she had an energy and spirit that I one day hope to embody. As I left her house, happy and humbled, I came to the realization that perhaps the influence of God in her life is what allowed her to maintain her constant lightheartedness and smiling nature. My interaction with Miss Green relates specifically to a criteria of Goal 1, which states that the entire school program explores one's relationship to God, to self, to others, and to all creation. Miss Green had a profound impact on me, allowing me to reflect on myself, others, and my relationship with God. Miss Green serves as a physical representation of 3 key lessons that I have learned in class. In Plato's The Republic, he states that neither the uneducated and uninformed of the truth, nor yet those who never make an end of their education, will be able ministers of the state. Although I do not yet know what the truth is, Miss Green allowed me to step closer to it. My interaction with her allowed me to explore my relationship with myself, which led to thinking about the potential importance of God in my life. She provided me with an educational experience and enlightening that gave me insight into myself as well as others. In Rachel Naomi Remen's In the Service of Life, she claims that serving is mutual. When I serve, I have a feeling of gratitude. My experience with Mrs. Green made me profoundly grateful for many reasons. As I served her, she served me. While my actions deepened her love and hope in God, her actions did the same for me. I am grateful to have met her, and grateful to have come to the realizations about how to be happy that she so effortlessly provided me. In Pope John XXIII's Pacem in Terris, he states that enlightened men share their knowledge of the truth, share their enjoyment of all the wholesome pleasures of the world, and strive to continually pass on to others what is best in themselves, and to make their own the spiritual riches of others. Mrs. Green is someone I considered to be an enlightened and wise person. She shared her knowledge of the truth, which was how to live a fulfilling and happy life. Her enjoyment for the pleasures of the world provided me with enjoyment. She passed on what was best in herself to make me a more spiritual person. Although I am still formulating my opinion of what God is, I know that I am on a solid path to enlightenment. Miss Green is someone who is undoubtedly graced by God's presence, and her presence graces the world. Perhaps this presence of grace and happiness is how I, at least for the time being, will identify God. If God is as admirable as Mrs. Green, then I could be a disciple.